With just five races remaining, the Open Wheel Offline League Season 4 begins to close, but it is going to be a hard-fought battle today for every single point as we are here at Kentucky for the Kentucky 150, the first time that we've gone to Kentucky, and it is going to be an exciting race, quite comparable to Texas earlier in the season, a 1.5, pretty much asymmetric oval. But let's go through your starting grid. Let's start at the back of the grid. Another rough qualifying for Skibbity Sigma Racing. Ethan Martz will be at the tail end of the field in 26th, and then 25th will be the 54 of Mahavir Raghunathan. 24th is where you'll find Dawa Tenzin in his oval debut. Let's see what the Tibetan driver has. And then 23rd, worst starting spot for Catherine Legg this season. Going to be starting deep in the pack. 22nd and 21st, so in row 11, is where you'll find T-Meg's teammates Jacob Abel and Robbie Lohr not having the same success that Ryan Preece has had in qualifying recently. And then another pair of teammates right in front, 20th, pretty shocking, Connor Zilic, second worst qualifying effort of the season, really struggled at the exit of turn 4, but although he starts near the back, look for him to move forward as he has been mounting a championship run with back-to-back second places and near wins in both of them. And then right in front of him will be his teammate Guy Gagné in the number 90. As we move up to row 9 is the 47 of Lindsay Brewer. Also look for this car to move forward. She's been pretty quick on the ovals as of recently. And then Gail Barnhart will be right in front of her. Then as we go to 16th, another rough oval qualifying effort for Callum Ilott. And then 15th, a bit of a shocker, Dorian Pinn, who has been on a pretty good run in qualifying recently, will be starting deeper in the field than she would have wanted. 14th is the oval debut of Lewis Hamilton, starting one spot better than he did at Summit Point. And then alongside him, second in the championship, Shane Van Gisbergen, who's not had a good run at it on the ovals outside of Milwaukee. DNFs at Texas and Iowa, and then disappointing results at Indianapolis and Pocono. So we're going to have to see if he can move forward today. In 12th, also look for this guy to move forward, Chet Jordan. Pretty good on the ovals. Do not count him out. And then 11th, coming off a third place podium finish at Summit Point, is the number 12 of Miles Rowe in one of his best qualifying efforts of the season. And then tying his best qualifying effort will be the 99 of Brennan Hubbard, starting all the way up in 10th. And then 9th is where you'll find the 00 of Glubler Lohr, who looks to get his first win. Could it happen today? 8th will be his teammate Stingray Robb, who is trying to push into the leader circle with just 5 races left. Will have one of his better qualifying efforts. And then been on fire as of recently, Marcus Armstrong looks to start moving up the championship order as he starts in 7th. 6th place, finally a good qualifying effort for Louis Foster. It's been a rough run in qualifying as of recently and hasn't gotten the top 10 in the last 3 races, which took him from first in the championship to third. As now that he trails, will he get his momentum back going? In 5th place, his best qualifying effort of the season will be the 87 of Alessio Deletta. Had pace at Pocono, but DNF'd early on into the race. Let's see if he can correct for that. But then the winner of Pocono and the winner of Texas is the 27 of Yuki Tsunoda. Look for this guy to try to make it 3 wins on the season tonight. In third, looking for his first win, but has been so quick on the ovals. I believe 3 of his podiums have been on the ovals, at second at Texas and then thirds at Iowa and Pocono. Look for David Malukas to try to get the win and close in on the Rookie of the Year standings. Second place, Benjamin Peterson. Been a rough season for his first full-time season, but he is starting on the outside tonight. And then first place, your championship leader, Ryan Preece, gets his 6th pole of the season, looking to get the all-time win record in one season at 4. He's also chasing down the all-time poles. He now leads the championship by 18 and could be a lot more if Pocono went down more in his favor. So let's take a look at your weather. This race takes place August 23rd at 7 p.m., so we will be racing into the night. 2-mile-per-hour wind speeds, 83 degrees, 88 track temp, so not too hot. Could provide some competitive racing. Clear skies, low humidity. So once again, not going green this time. We're just going to try to set up for a double wide start. But Ryan Preece, this could be a great day for him to close in on what could be his second championship. No one has won 2 championships before, so could he be the first? So he is starting. Yeah, he was 17 points above Shane Van Gisbergen, but with the bonus point for getting pole, he's now up by 18 and then up by 21 on Louis Foster. If you look at the track, it's a little asymmetric. Turn 1 and 2, although they're tighter, they're a lot faster and you can run a lot more flat. Whereas turns 3 and 4, the track surface much wider, but it closes up significantly in turn 4, much like Texas, but flipped, where turn 1 and 2 were the tight ones, now it's 3 and 4. That's going to provide an interesting dynamic. You might be able to see more dives in 3 and 4, where it'll kind of space out a bit more. So probably only going to be one pit stop to get to the end. Looking at about halfway, as Preece is actually going to pit before the green. This is interesting, but he is forfeiting his starting spot up at the front. Lindsey Brewer and Guy Gagné will also follow, so doing a pit lane start to have a little bit more fuel, and we're going to have to see if that is significant, but that does put Preece in harm's danger. So it's actually going to be Benjamin Peterson leading us to the green. As Preece, Brewer, and Gagné will get back onto the track, but Preece going to be starting all the way at the tail end of the field. So he's got to hope that there isn't any big pileups, but they happened at Texas, so he's going to have to be very careful because he cannot afford a DNF at this point in the season. So Benjamin Peterson will actually bring us to green alongside David Malukas. Louis Foster now starting in 5th. Could be a good points day. As here we go, coming to the green will be Benjamin Peterson. As Yuki Tsunoda already up into 2nd, he is looking for a 2nd win on the season, and he is closing in on Benjamin Peterson going down the backstretch. Into turns 3 and 4, he has taken the lead, and he might be the leader at the end of this first lap. Ryan Preece already up to 22nd, as it's actually going to be Benjamin Peterson who leads this first lap. Peterson now your leader. Deletta moves into 2nd, so it's Banshees of Little Miami 1-2, but Marcus Armstrong right behind. Ryan Preece has moved his way up to 21st, but he is in the Hornet's Nest back here. Oh, right in the middle of Connor Zilic and Catherine Legg, but he is ahead of Connor Zilic, one of the cars that he needs to beat. Shane Van Gisbergen looking to move into the top 10. as Alessio Deletta chases down his teammate Benjamin Peterson up at the front. Right now looking into the sun coming off turn 3. As here he goes to the lead. It's been a rough season for Alessio Deletta compared to last season, but he did find some momentum at the end of the season. Back here, David Malukas in third, battling Glubler-Lore. Then it's a little bit of a gap. Brendan Hubbard actually running up in fifth, having a good run. Louis Foster dropped down to 10th. Shane Van Gisbergen has now fallen down to 19th, as Ryan Preece now 18th, Connor Zilic 16th. Lewis Hamilton in his oval debut, struggling at the back of the field, as he's not moving forward, as David Malukas, now your race leader. Been quite good on the ovals this season, as the top 4 have kind of broken away from the rest of the field. Brendan Hubbard and Marcus Armstrong kind of on their own, as Tsunoda fell back to 7th, trying to close in on them. Deletta now leads as Malukas is high on the racetrack. Side by side for the lead between Deletta and Peterson. As they come to the line, Deletta leads, looking for his first win on the season, sits all the way down in 23rd in the championship, as Malukas very close to Peterson coming off turn 2, as we have a yellow flag. It is the 00 of Glubler-Lore, who is flying through the track. Where did he go? Oh my gosh, that is a big accident for the 00. So he's battling Marcus Armstrong. He's going to wash up the track, and then boom, into the catch fence. Armstrong definitely has damage, as that 00 goes flying, hits the inside wall. Oh my gosh, that is a violent crash early on in this race. The damage to the 33 as well. As let's go on board, see what he saw. Washes up, puts Armstrong in the wall, then oh my gosh. Armstrong, let's see what he saw. So he goes high, and I don't know if Glubler sees him there, as he keeps turning up, and he's going to slam him into the wall as the 00 goes flying. So we have some cars pitting at the back here. Going to top off on fuel, Yuki Tsunoda leads the cars at pit, followed by Chet Jordan, Guy Gagné, Gail Barnhart, and then it's going to be Robbie Lohr. Armstrong is not in pit lane. He has actually gone to the garage, so 2 cars out early. The 12 of Miles Rowe has a very long stop, 33.5 seconds, so he must have gotten some damage. Ryan Preece has already found his way into the top 10, now sits in 8th. So he is moving forward. Alessio Deletta, your leader. Shane Van Gisbergen sits in 14th, right behind Connor Zilic. Louis Foster at the back of the top 10 in 10th. So that's where your top 4 in the championship are. 5th in the championship is Chet Jordan, who is the first car that pit, back in 17th. But a vicious accident early on in the race will bring out the first yellow. Tough luck for the 33 of Armstrong. He has just had horrendous luck this season. And once again, it strikes. Dawa Tenzin, in his oval debut, runs in 12th, so he's having a good run at it so far. His teammate Lewis Hamilton pit under the yellow and sits down in 22nd. So 90 laps to go, essentially. Well, more of 89, but a long ways to the finish. Alessio Deletta trying to get his first win. Malukas looking for his first win. The whole top 5 looking for their first wins on the season. Actually, down to 6th. All looking for their first win. Benjamin Peterson already on the attack, moves up into 2nd as Malukas falls into 3rd. Now Peterson going to have to run off the corner, and he is going to get to the lead perhaps, as no Deletta is able to hold the inside much better. Coming to the line, Malukas will beat Peterson at 2nd, as now Malukas goes for the lead. Stingray Robb up here in 2nd. Could be a breakout day for him. A lot of underdogs at the front of the field. Meanwhile, Ryan Preece moving forward. He's up to 7th and now looking at 6th, as he's going to get it around the outside of Dorian Pinn, as she's not quite backed out just yet. David Malukas, your leader. Alessio Deletta looking to trade. Shane Van Gisbergen has nearly gone into the top 10. Malukas very high on the track. Gets a nice run off the corner, and he's going to be ahead of Deletta going into turn 1. But they are really starting to pack up here at the front. Ryan Preece, you see, 3rd on the inside in that purple car. David Malukas now is going to have to run off the corner and should lead at the line. I would not be surprised if these two go back and forth all day. The more you run at the front, the more fuel you're going to have to burn. And we're assuming it's only going to be a one-stopper, but that could always change. So it is official, Marcus Armstrong and Glover Lohr out of the race, so down to 24 cars remaining. Stingray Robb now in 2nd. On the inside of Malukas. Malukas, though, going to have a better run in the corner. Shane Van Gisbergen has cracked the top 10 with teammate Louis Foster just behind. So the Swindlers of the Immortals sit 8th, 10th, and 11th, trying to move forward. There you see the 94 as well. Dawa Tenzin in his oval debut looking pretty solid, as Alessio Deletta leads David Malukas. Deletta has definitely led more laps early on. Been a disappointing season for Deletta, but if he could win today, that could put him in talks to get back into the leader circle. Brennan Hubbard on the cutoff, Peterson around the cutoff, Stingray Robb below the cutoff. So right now, a lot of the drivers at the front need some points. Ryan Preece in particular looking for a championship as he goes bold around Benjamin Peterson. Stingray Robb trying to look for the lead, but Deletta hangs strong on the inside. Deletta playing very defensive early on. Gonna have to see what the tire wear situation is as we go forward. But they have gapped 2 seconds on the cars behind that is led by Dawa Tenzin in the 94. Right now, Tenzin has a good run going. Could be a strong day for him. Priest up into 5th. Survived the early chaos and now moves forward. But hasn't quite gotten to the front. Here's Stingray Rob seeing Malukas try and go around the outside. Will Malukas have the run off the corner? No, he doesn't. They are so close down the front stretch. Peterson goes very high in the turn. Way up on the high groove. The top 3 have been looking pretty stagnant as now Malukas going to try to be inside to get the lead. So that's a little, right as I say, it's stagnant up at the front. A lead change. Deleta's trying to peek around the inside, but Malukas will hold on the outside and stay ahead. Foster still in the top 10, sits in 8th now, leading the second group. Actually, no, Lindsey Brewer has had a little bit of a breakaway, so the Banshees of Little Miami sit 2nd, 6th, and 7th right now, as Ryan Priest has now moved into 2nd. Hasn't led a lap yet today. Technically started from pole. But here he goes, looking around the outside. As Brendan Hubbard trying to lead some laps. On the inside. But he's not going to be able to get there. As Malukas holding steady up at the front. Brewer on her own island in 7th. Then back to Tenzin, Pin, Sonoda, Rowe. This is a little clump. Shane Van Gisbergen has dropped all the way down to 17th. Then 2 cars at the back. It's the 44 of Lewis Hamilton and the 18 of Callum Iwat, who are at the tail end of the field. As Brendan Hubbard, now your leader, got to the inside in turn 3. And now he leads in that number 99. As they trade the lead, that does bring the 47 closer and closer, but still over 2 seconds back, as David Malukas now back to the lead. Masters of Motors, their last win before the season was back in Season 2 at Dover with Marcus Armstrong. Then Catherine Legg finally broke through at Road Atlanta. But it's been pretty big inconsistencies from this team. But one thing that has been consistent, David Malukas, good on the ovals, was running well at Indy before a crash. Ryan Priest looking at 4 straight top 10s. Last race that wasn't in the top 10 was Montreal, where he finished down in 17th, really struggled with saving tires, which was an issue for him at Detroit as well, and hurt him at points in Sandown, Suzuka, Road Atlanta. As Guy Gagné now trails at the back of the field. Don't know when he started going slowly, but he has lost the field pretty significantly. So may have had some contact. Let's see if we can go on board and see any issues. As he's coming into the pits, so something is wrong on that number 90. As Alessio Deleta trying to use the top side. As Malukas still going to lead at the line. top 6 still hanging strong. The 47 was closing in, but no longer, as the number 90 sits in pit road with what might be a terminal injury, as he has been sitting there for a good while. As a little bit of a gap has formed, Brendan Hubbard has dropped 7/10 back from Malukas and Deletta. Brian Priest hasn't gotten to the front yet. I think he's the only one of these cars that hasn't led yet. But Deletta and Malukas may be getting a little bit of a gap, but the 99 drafting back up again. It's going to swing back and forth, and we will not know who's going to win until probably coming out of turn 4, and even then, it still could be close at the line. It's been close at the line. But yeah, you go back to the 47, then there's a big group led by the 03 and the 27 who sit 8th and 9th. And then you go all the way back to the 95 down in 19th. And that's the third and final group. But the 47 is closing in significantly to the 64, who has lost the cars in front. I don't know how, but he has lost a significant amount of time, nearly 8/10 now, as they have really started to pack up at the front again. Malukas still leading. You get 2 points for the most laps led, 1 point for just leading a singular lap. Doesn't matter if it's under pit stops or not, as Guy Gagné will finally exit the pits, but that was a very long stop for what is probably a terminal injury on that car. But apparently not completely terminal, but 6 laps down. Still fighting. Gagné comes into this race, I believe, 11th in points. Yes, 11th in points. David Malukas in 10th. So Malukas looking for a good day today, as Priest has caught back up to the group. You do get a bonus point for the fastest lap as well, so that could have been a good opportunity for him right there. Louis Foster sitting in the middle of the field in 15th, Zilich in 12th. Shane Van Gisbergen having another rough day on the oval, sits down in 23rd, currently battling Mahavir Raghunathan in that 54. Benjamin Peterson now looking for the lead on the outside. Less than 10 laps to halfway. We're going to need to see some pit stops, probably, if I had to guess, about anywhere from 50, well, on the timing tower it'd be 53 to probably 68, I'd say is the window. Brendan Hubbard comes into this race 20th in points. Best result was a 4th in his 3rd race at Suzuka. So could possibly better that result today. It'd be an amazing run for him and the team. Stingray Robb is right behind him in points, trying to break into the top 20. He needs a good result. 18th, also Benjamin Peterson. So this could be a good day for a lot of these drivers right on the leader circle cutoff. As Peterson now going to get to the front, as we have caught lap traffic. Who suffers and who gets away fine? Malukas going to be on the inside, and he's probably going to lose some time here, as he is going to get by, but that got very close, as the Banshee cars now go 1-2. The purple car of Peterson leads the blue car of Deletta. Malukas has fallen back to 3rd. Brewer not too far back, 2.2 seconds, so has closed a little bit, and it's about 3 seconds back to Miles Rowe. This group's starting to break away. Rowe, Zilich, Barnhart, and Pin, 8th through 11th right here. And then it's Jacob Abel, who is with his teammate Robbie Lohr, so currently sits 12th and 13th. Then you drop back to Sonoda, Legg, and Foster, who sit 14th through 16th. Tenzin on his own. Chet Jordan follows. Then Lewis Hamilton down here at 19th with Callum Ilott. Then 21st through 22nd is Martin Raghunathan and Van Gisbergen at the very back in 23rd. So it's a rough day right now for Van Gisbergen. That could be some serious points lost in the championship that he cannot afford to lose. As Malukas pulls out ahead once again. Right now, I think the 25 and the 87 look to be the cars to beat, but that 64, man, can he shake things up? As Jacob Abel has broken into the top 10, so that's 75 and 30 that we were talking about. Now starting to move forward. A lot of shifting groups in the middle of the pack. Nothing defined. The top 6 still running strong, but Lindsey Brewer in 7th is closing in. Less than a second to the 99 of Hubbard, who sits in 6th. As Deletta now to the front, going on the inside of Malukas. I don't believe Priest has led a lap yet. He seems content with riding around. I don't think Stingray has led a lap either, but I know the 99, 25, 29, and 87 have led laps. As Malukas gonna lead this one as well. We are over halfway. Officially on lap 52 of 100. It says 55 of 103. 3 added laps for trying to get the grid settled. Stingray Rob tries to go to the inside, can't quite get there. Lindsey Brewer has now caught up to the back of the field as Malukas will be the first car to pit. Oh, that's a little early. That's pretty early for a pit stop here. That is lap 55. Or sorry, that'd be like 53. So a little bit over halfway, as Deletta is now the next one to pit. Shane Van Gisbergen pits as well. We'll have to see if there's an issue with the 43 or if he's just genuinely struggling. Malukas, 9.9 second pit stop, so full on fuel. Here comes Van Gisbergen, second in the championship, having a rough run at it today. The yellow comes out now, that would severely shake up the field. Peterson pits, Priest now leading some laps. As Van Gisbergen, 8.4 seconds, so it's a normal pit stop. 10.1 for Deletta. Peterson now in. Malukas out on track. Number 9 of Connor Zilichen as well. The 47 of Lindsey Brewer. Probably got one of her fastest laps when she caught up to the pack. As on track, Malukas gonna jump Deletta by a pretty decent gap. There's the 25, and then there's the 87. We're gonna have to see if they clump back together. Here goes the 29, 9.8 second pit stop. Zilich with a quick one, 8.5. So everyone just a little over halfway, so it may be a little bit of a save till the end. As here goes Malukas around Peterson. We know Priest is probably safe to the end because he forfeited his... Oh, that got close with the 99 of Hubbard. As Hubbard will come in, Priest will stay out. Malukas and Peterson currently at the front. All 3 Banshees cars on the outside right now as Deletta's going to try to go through the middle. Deletta goes through the middle and takes the lead of this group, but if they keep swapping back and forth, that could allow the guys at the front to take advantage, as Stingray is going to come into the pits now and Brian Priest will follow. That's going to give Miles Rowe the lead. Miles Rowe now leads at Kentucky, Gale Barnhart in 2nd and Abel in 3rd. But your true race leader down here, the 25 of David Malukas, currently logged 16th. As they're about to catch the 99 of Brennan Hubbard. Let's see if Hubbard was able to get a good pit stop and stay with these guys. He's going to come out right in front of Malukas, and he's going to have to lift off a little bit. Priest 8.3 second pit stop, Rob 8.5, so quick stops for the two of them. Stingray Rob beats Ryan Priest out. Let's see where they catch the field. Right now, Gale Barnhart at the front of the field, leading some laps as Malukas shoots the middle. Bold move. But 6 cars have now clumped together. Ryan Priest lagging off a little bit, but should be able to catch up with the draft. As now Stingray Rob gonna go to the front on the inside in turns 2. 3 wide down the backstretch. Elbows are out. These guys are all lapped down, so if a yellow flag comes out, they would be pretty darn screwed, as Miles Rowe has stayed out and currently leads the race. And he's going to continue to stay out, so the 12, making sure he's safe. Barnhart follows, and his teammate, Yuki Tsunoda, is in 3rd. Robbie, Abel, Jordan, Hamilton, and Ilott also follow, but they may have all pit under the yellow. Yes, they did. The whole top 8 did pit under the yellow flag. That's why they're able to go a little bit longer. Gonna have to see if that works in their favor as Stingray Rob trying to go to the lead of this group. Dorian Pin, next car outside this group, that is Pitt, but she's all the way at the start-finish line as they're entering turn 2. So a pretty sizable gap between this top 7, essentially, and her. Miles Rowe still leads the race. Gale Barnhart in 2nd, back by about a second. Yuki Tsunoda gonna try and go around the outside, but they're probably looking at pitting soon. Right as I say that, Miles Rowe gonna come in for his pit stop, followed by Hamilton and Ilott. So Gale Barnhart now your race leader. David Malukas still looking like the car to beat, but that 77 has come alive. The 87 has also had some pace today. Don't count out the 29, don't count out the 47, and especially don't count out that 64. And who knows, maybe we'll get an underdog rookie Brennan Hubbard to win the race. As all of these guys have 8-second pit stops. Gale Barnhart still at the lead of the race, not coming in this time. Yuki Tsunoda and Jacob Abel will come in. Miles Rowe will exit pit lane, but he is actually quite solid. Looks to be in provisionally 8th. He's behind the lead group, but well ahead of the 03 and the 07. So all of these guys are in, as now Barnhart and Robbie pit as well. So out of the danger zone for the cars that pit early. Miles Rowe took advantage and gained a lot of spots, as they are less than half a lap away from Shane Van Gisbergen and the number 90 of Guy Gagné. Look at Lindsey Brewer trying to go to the inside 3 wide in turn 3. We're slowly coming up on 30 to go. Will all these guys have enough to make it to the end? I say it's going to be close, especially without a yellow. So if Malukas still keeps leading, that may be an issue for him. I think if you're the 25 team, you start saving some fuel. You were the earliest to pit. Top 7. If they can't make it, it's going to go to Miles Rowe or perhaps Gale Barnhart or Yuki Tsunoda. But these guys at the front, I don't even know if they're cheering for a yellow. It's kind of an awkward spot to be in, because if a yellow does come out, their whole lead goes away, but they'll be able to make it to the end on fuel. But if the yellow doesn't come out, they may not be able to make it to the end on fuel anyways. So this whole lead would be pointless. So it's going to be trying to find the perfect balance. Stingray Rob going to lead this lap, so just in case he hasn't already, put that one in the books. So at least, I believe, 7, 8 different leaders. As Maluka's going to go back to the front. I don't know if you'd want to be leading right now. Ryan Priest got very close to the 99 coming off turn 3. Ryan Priest can go longer, so can Stingray Rob. Right now they're in the best spots possible, and this goes back to pitting before the green flag. Will that have an impactful result? Lindsey Brewer looking for a second win on the season, follows Stingray. Malukas on the high side. Oh, it's gonna be tight. Going to be very tight when it comes to getting to the end. They're going to be catching lap traffic of the number 90 of Guy Gagné soon. As Miles Rowe has caught up to the back of this group, and he can push a lot harder than they can. So this 12 car might be a force to be reckoned with in these closing laps. So watch out for the 12, the 27 of Yuki Tsunoda lead. So Eventide Racing has some pace. Dorian Pin will go around the 27 of Yuki Tsunoda. But Lucas still intent on leading. 25 laps to go. So 1/4 of the race remaining. So now the winning driver pool has expanded. We're now up to 8 cars in this front group. And then there's much more trying to save to make it to the end. Barnhart now cracks the top 10. Yuki Tsunoda trying to pull away from this group behind. Connor Zilich not moving forward, all the way back in 16th. Surrounded by the 2 Team Canada dry cars in their oval debut, running 15th and 17th. Louis Foster has dropped down to 20th. This could be another disastrous day for him. Shane Van Gisbergen in 23rd. If this is how this race finishes, Ryan Priest is going to look very healthy in points, but he's currently 3 wide on the inside. Whoa! Big cross up as Brendan Hubbard going to move to the front of the field in turn 3. Priest has to get out of it. Yeah, that was a big save coming off turn 2 that we just saw. As here's Malukas right in the middle of it, and we are closing in on the number 90. Go to his gearbox. As here comes the 99, who gets stuck behind. Looks like he's going to get out of the way. The no issue, well, the number 12 gets held up a little. Hanging on all right in the draft, but the 99 of Brendan Hubbard leading some laps at the front of the field. A lot of potential for a new winner this season, or a new winner in general. Brendan Hubbard never won. Stingray Rob only has 1 win despite having done every single race. Miles Rowe has never won. Ryan Priest could spoil the party though. Oh, it's going to be tight off turn 2. That looked very tight. 18 laps to go. David Malukas still leads, but is he going to be able to make it to the end? It will only be about 48 lap stint, but he was able to save to 55 under yellows. but he might be able to make it. But here comes the 47 of Lindsey Brewer, trying to spoil his party. Brewer, 1 win on the season, 2 career wins total. As she's going to get to the lead, so she does lead a lap. I believe that makes everyone in the top 8 a lap leader today. Yuki Tsunoda, Dorian Pin, and Gail Barnhart trying to close in, but not close enough. They're going to need a yellow to get back into the fight of this. Brewer now your leader, but Maluka's going to go to the inside. That 25 has been the fastest car today, but just because you're the fastest car doesn't mean you're going to win, and you're not owed anything. Has by far led the most laps. Led the most laps at Texas as well, but came up short. 2 second places to start the season. As here comes Brennan Hubbard on the inside with 14 to go. That 99 car, do not count him out. Viking Racing would love to get another win. Brennan Hubbard not only looking for his first podium, looking for his first win here, as the Banshees of Little Miami cars of Brewer and Deletta to the front lead the lines. I don't know how much Ryan Preece is going to want to get involved in this fight, because if he wrecks, that's a lot of points gone. But if he just finishes strong, this will be very helpful in the championship. Brewer leads the high side. Deletta leads the low side. Teamwork for the Banshees cars, as Brewer's going to cut down, but the 99's going to have a chance. As Guy Gagné going to enter pit lane, he's going to be out of the way. Hubbard up top, Brewer down low. Malukas on the high side, pretty much by himself. He's going to go the long way around. Has 10 laps to go. 90 laps complete. Number 90 will exit pit lane. Gonna have to see where he comes out, because if he comes out in front of the leading cars, that is going to be difficult to manage. It's gonna be probably just up the road from him. If he can keep solid pace, he shouldn't be a problem. As Hubbard up top, Malukas on the inside. He hasn't been side by side for the lead in a good while. Peterson now shows up to the fight. The 99 just takes off so well in the turn. That's going to be very tough to compete with. Gapping pretty well with 8 laps to go, but the 29 has a monster run here. He's going to go to the inside. The 25 going to follow. The 99 has nothing he can do to defend besides find the perfect balance of lifting and throttle in 3 and 4. 7 to go. Peterson, now your race leader. Hasn't led a lot today besides at the very beginning. But here comes Malukas. Oh, had to check up just a little bit, but has a big run in turn 3 and 4. That 25, definitely the car to beat. Points leader Ryan Preece drops back to 8th. He's kind of fallen out of this lead group as the 47 shows up and the 25 nearly makes contact with the 29, as the 99 of Brennan Hubbard back in the lead with 6 to go. Looking at his best result of his career. 20th in the standings entering this race. Just barely in the leader circle. Peterson gonna be on the inside, and he's gonna have a run. With 4.5 laps to go, Benjamin Peterson back to the front of this race. David Malukas still there. There is a gap between 6th and 7th. Miles Rowe and Ryan Preece have lost the lead pack. Peterson started from 2nd, essentially on pole. A lapped car not too far up the road. Here comes the 99. A career day for Brendan Hubbard. Recontracted with Viking Racing for next season is going to bring us to 3 to go. Dorian Penn enters pit lane. She cannot make it to the end. Lindsey Brewer trying to chase down the 99. Can these guys even make it to the end? Penn and Van Gisbergen are in pit lane. Stingray Robb now in third. 2 laps to go. Can they make it to the end? Here comes the 47 of Lindsey Brewer. Here comes Stingray Robb looking at the middle. Can't quite get there. Stingray Robb, only 1 win in his career. But it is going to be Brendan Hubbard who leads us to the white flag. Stingray Robb sits in second. David Malukas right behind. Is anyone going to have a run going down the backstretch? Right now, David Malukas looks like the best shot. He's going to try to go low, but Hubbard closes it off. Connor Zilic crashes. As here we come to the line. It is the 99 of Brendan Hubbard, underdog winner here at Kentucky. The number 9 is in the infield. What has happened here? At the back of the field. Oh. Hits the 24 of Chet Jordan. And tumbles down the track. As on the other side of the track, another crash happened. The 07 of Catherine Legg. And I believe as the 94 of Dawa Tenzin. Chaos breaks out in the last lap. Let's look at this again. Oh, the 9 just comes up on Chet Jordan. And that is heavy, heavy contact. He goes barrel rolling down the track. Let's see an onboard here. Oh, yikes. As he goes into the crowd. As, let's take a look at the 07 and see this incident again. A lot to unpack at the end of this race. Whenever it gets shown. Okay, so they're on track here. Still going. So it's one of these next few laps. .27 high on the track. This is in the closing few laps. I believe the last lap. Oh, just turns down on him, comes up in front of the 75 of Abel, who does squeak by to get a top 10. As let's see what the 94 saw. As was that even the 94? That may have been the 44. I got those wrong. That was the 44 of Lewis Hamilton. She just closes the door, and she tries hanging onto it, dirt tracking it, but into the wall. It breaks the car right at the end, but it is the 99 who is the car to talk about in a complete surprise win. So B Hubby gets the W as chaos breaks out in the end. David Malukas once again will have to settle for second after a dominant day. So Brennan Hubbard wins by 9 hundredths of a second over David Malukas, one of the closest finishes this season. Lindsey Brewer will finish in third as another strong run on the ovals. Alessio Deletta finishes fourth. That will help him in the leader circle battle. Miles Rowe, yet another top five, so I think that's 3 straight top tens for the number 12 team. Stingray Rob will finish in sixth, a good result for him. Benjamin Peterson in seventh. Eighth will be Ryan Preece, who will have a pretty big championship lead after this race. Ninth will be Gail Barnhart, getting back-to-back top tens, and then Jacob Abel finishes in the top 10 in 10th. Yuki Tsunoda will finish 11th, had a little bit of a squirrely moment at the end of the race. Robbie Lord will finish in 12th. Lewis Hamilton, despite the contact, will come home to finish 13th. Dawa Tenzin will finish 14th, so good oval debuts for both of those cars. Races to forget for Callum Ilott, and yet another disappointing result for Louis Foster. They will finish 15th and 16th. They're not going to be quite happy about that. And then the Skibbity Sigma cars, 17th and 18th. Catherine Legg will be able to drive it home to 19th. Last car in the lead lap, then every car a lap down had some sort of chaos impact the race. Chet Jordan finishes 20th. Had a solid top 10 run going until the end there. That's going to be a disappointing result for him. Don't know if it's going to be logged as a DNF or not. Connor Zilic, most definitely a DNF. He will finish 21st. 22nd, Dorian Pin could not make it on fuel. And then another disappointing oval race for Shane Van Gisbergen, who will finish 23rd and lose out big time in the championship. Guy Gagne, some issue early on in the race will impact him. He will finish 24th. Marcus Armstrong will finish 25th. Unfortunate situation for both the 24 and the 33. Nothing they could have done. And then Globler Lore will round out the field in 26th. So chaos breaks out here at Kentucky. A lot of underdog drivers getting good results, especially the 99 of Brendan Hubbard, who is now an open wheel offline race winner. Up next, we are still in the South on the ovals. This one's a little bit of a shorter oval. It's 1 1/3 mile Nashville Super Speedway. It's going to be quite the fun race to watch, and I hope to see you guys then. Qualifying will be on Tuesday, and then the race will be on Wednesday. 4 races to go. Let's see who gets it done.